Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Guitar Therapy. So in today's episode, actually, how are you guys? Pick up a guitar, grab a guitar, or if you don't have a guitar, grab a bass guitar, or I don't know, I was going to say a drum set, but you cannot really grab that, can you? But let's just hang out for half an hour, and I don't know what I will discuss in this episode, but because for the previous two episodes, if you haven't watched them, you can watch them. But I had ideas what to discuss. In the first episode, I discussed why I started playing guitar. The second episode, I discussed starting a band, and now is the third episode in which I will discuss guitar players. Okay, let's go. So everybody starting out has their favorite songs, bands, musicians. And everybody has a guitar player that inspires them, or just a musician in general. For me, my favorite guitar player is George Lynch, like I mentioned in the first episode. Because of George Lynch, I basically started playing guitar. That's why he's my favorite guitar player. And he's actually, there's a lot of people who are George Lynch fans. He has a signature guitar, a couple of signature guitars actually. He had a signature amplifier, and he has his signature tone, skill, tone, mannerisms, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, George Lynch is the guy for me, my favorite guitar player. But my other favorite guitar player, actually my favorite musician, not just a guitar player, is Eddie Van Halen, because Van Halen is my favorite band of all time. And Eddie Van Halen is just, man, he's great. He's my GOAT actually. My greatest guitar player of all time is Eddie Van Halen. Doesn't matter how vanilla it sounds, everybody has him as their greatest guitar player because he is maybe the greatest guitar player ever. But my favorite is George Lynch in my heart. But I wouldn't put George Lynch as the greatest guitar player ever. He's in my top 5, like number 4 in terms of skill, or maybe number 3 in terms of skill. If it's in terms of skill, I don't know. Maybe I would put Eddie in second place, George in third, and maybe Paul Gilbert in first place, or John Petrucci, because these guys are machines. So, yeah, my favorite guitar player is George Lynch. My favorite musician is Eddie Van Halen. In my opinion, he is the greatest guitar player. But of course, there was a long time, and it took time for me to come to this realization that I'm such a huge fan of George Lynch and Eddie Van Halen. George Lynch at first, he is the guitar player who inspired me to start playing guitar. But in the beginning, my favorite guitar players were Kirk Hammett and Slash. I don't know how. It's Slash, right? Nah, that sounds weird. Guys, English is not my first language, guys. Come on, give me. Yeah, Slash and Kirk Hammett were my favorite guitar players. And I thought Slash was the greatest guitar player of all time. I was like, yo, this guy's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT. Turns out he's not. He's not even close to being the greatest guitar player of the 80s, nonetheless of all time. But he wasn't the best guitarist in 1987. He wasn't the best guitarist at the Sunset Strip at that time. He's not the best of the 80s. He's not the best of the 20th century. He's not the best of all time. People who say he's the GOAT, I respect their opinion, but they're wrong. And yeah, because it was the Sunset Strip. It was the 80s. People will say he has feel, has this and whatnot, but I, I don't really agree with this. If we're talking about great guitar players from the Sunset Strip, you know, 1987, you know, Paul Gilbert was in Racer X. You know, Paul Gilbert, Vinnie Moore, Tony McAlpine. Who else? Who else? Who else? Jason Becker. Even, yeah, Marty Friedman during 817 was Cacophony. Tons of players. Richie Kotzen, I think, at that time came out as well. Bruce Boulier from Racer X, because Racer X had two guitar players, Paul Gilbert and Bruce Boulier. And I think, yeah, on the drums was Scott Travis, who plays in Judas Priest. And there were tons of shredders in the LA scene, of course, like I'm talking about the LA scene, but in the East, in the New Jersey, New York, you had Vito Bratta, and 87, like the late 80s, you had Scott Hill, Dave Sable, Steve Brown. All these great guitar players, which in my opinion are more skilled than, for example, Slash or Kirk Hammett. You know, guys like Slash make a lot of top spots for a lot of people because of their popularity. I mean, he has swagger, he has style. He's a member of one of the most popular rock bands of all time. But to say he's the best guitar player of all time, it's just nonsense. The same, some player also after Slash, I thought Kirk Hammett to be my favorite guitar player. And Kirk Hammett did all the what was it? The thrash metal stuff, just the quick pentatonic licks. Something along those lines. And yeah, I mean, Kirk Hammett is cool, has a style. Do I enjoy listening to Kirk Hammett? Not really, but I don't think anybody can deny Metallica's like the influence and their songs are pretty hard. I mean, the solos are difficult. The songs in general are difficult. Not that I've really sat down to learn them, but they're not easy. I mean, a song like Master of Puppets, which I hate mentioning Master of Puppets because I'm not a guy who hates anything that goes mainstream. I'm actually quite the opposite, but I just hated that. This is like, people act like this is Metallica's only song. Like, bro, listen to, I don't know, bro, like Disposable Heroes or The Thing That Should Not Be, Damage Incorporated, or even Eye of the Beholder, Free Dance of Sanity, what else? Even Harvester of Sorrow. What else? Even Trapped on the Rise, one of Metallica's best songs. And people should really just expand their horizons, not just listen to Master of Puppets because why is it popular actually, Master of Puppets? It's a cool song, but yeah, it was in a TV show. It was in Stranger Things. I've never watched the show actually. I have no idea. I just know it was popular because of this. But anyways, and yeah, Kirk Hammett, he was my favorite guitar player for a time, and that was until I discovered Testament and I heard actual guitar solos. No, I'm joking, of course. I love Kirk Hammett. I have a soft spot for Kirk Hammett. I use his picks. I love Kirk Hammett's guitar picks. You can actually see them. They're really cool. Does it focus? Actually, I don't know. It's focusing on my face, not on the pick. But anyways, they have this heart shape. They have a cutout here, and here you have the signature, which is also I forgot the word, but it has grip. It's gripping. So yeah, I'm a fan of Kirk Hammett. I don't dislike Kirk Hammett. I'm just he's not my favorite guitar player anymore. Actually, for a couple of years, he's not been in my top 5. But yeah. I heard Testament. I heard Alex Koenig, and my opinion just changed completely. I was like, yo, Alex Koenig is the GOAT. He's the man, bro. Now Alex Koenig playing all his crazy stuff like some crazy stuff. He plays really fast, and the thing is like a lot of these guys, you know, Alex Koenig, Kirk Hammett, and even Steve Vai and other guys. A lot of people know that Josh Triani was their teacher. Yeah, like I said, Alex Koenig also went to Josh Triani for lessons. Even though Koenig is younger than the other guys. So Koenig became my favorite guitar player around that time, and I still had a soft spot for Hammett like I do nowadays. At that time I didn't really listen to Van Halen. Then I actually started listening to glam metal, hair metal, and that's when the gates opened and I was exposed to a ton of great guitar players. Because before that I was just listening mainly to thrash metal. And thrash metal is cool, don't get me wrong, the songs are cool, they're fun, but the solos are most of the time are boring. Like I said, if it's not Testament, or if it's not the Metallica, like a couple of their songs, or Megadeth, or Anthrax had some pretty cool solos. I won't even comment Slayer. Slayer has the worst solos in the history of music. But other thrash bands with good solos. I don't know. Sacred Reich had a really cool solo on the song American Way. But Overkill had some pretty cool solos from Bobby Gustafson. But I don't really remember any other bands with cool solos. But Testament was the one for me, and Megadeth of course. But I'll talk about Megadeth a bit later. And Testament. But then I got into glam metal, and at that time Alex Koenig was my favorite guitar player. I was just like, yeah, this is the guy, this is the main guy. And then I returned to Dokken, and I was like, what am I doing? This song made me play guitar. Obviously Josh Lynch is my favorite guitar player, and Josh Lynch is still at the top of my list. And I tried back in the day to copy Josh Lynch, play all his stuff like goofing around some weird stuff. But Josh Lynch became my favorite player since then, and like I said, I got into hair metal. I was exposed to a ton of great guitar music. Guys like Vito Bratta, Warren DeMartini, Jakey Lee, Robin Crosby, Amir Derak, who was Vivian Campbell, Yngwie Malmsteen as well. Even though he's not really glam metal, he's a shredder like Paul Gilbert, and Paul Gilbert also in Mr. Big, and Racer X also kind of was maybe in the glam metal scene. CC DeVille, who's maybe the Kirk Hammett of glam, if you think about it. People always shit on CC DeVille, but no, because he always plays this one lick. People say that CC is not creative. In my opinion, CC is one of the best guitar players because he just plays what the song needs. He doesn't overplay. CC DeVille is one of the greatest guitar players in my opinion. Like I said, he just serves the song. He doesn't try to overplay, doesn't jerk off with the guitar like many people do. Even though I like the shreddy solos that people say have no soul. I love that shit. But yeah, a ton of great guitar players, and that's when I realized that thrash metal is actually not that great. And for lead guitar playing, of course, they're Testament and Megadeth and Exodus. Actually, Exodus. Gary Holt. I'm a huge fan of Gary Holt and Rick Hunold. They have a song from 1992, I think, from the Force of Habit record, Good Day to Die. This song, the solo on this song made such an impact on me, bro. Like, I heard it for the first time. It's a dueling solo. Like, if the first solo is, I think, Rick Hunold, and then Gary Holt. Gary Holt plays the Red Beach Ibanez guitar. Red Beach. I didn't mention Red Beach. Also one of the greatest guitar players of the decade of the 80s. Maybe a full time, because I'll talk about Red Beach a bit later. But Exodus, Good Day to Die, Gary Holt, Rick Hunold, the H Team. They fucking slay on that song. And I don't really enjoy Exodus, like their vocals. Zetro is cool. Paul Beowulf was cool, but then Rob Duke's also cool. But I'm just not a huge fan of this style of vocals. But they have some cool songs. And then the 04 record, the song Blacklist, has a badass solo, one really great solo, one of the best thrash metal solos actually. Came out in 2004, which is crazy. And yeah, now glam metal, like I said, my taste changed quite a lot, and my favorite guitar player obviously became Josh Lynch. I had Alex Koenig then in my top 3, and I don't remember, I probably had someone like Warren DeMartini or Red Beach, which is still one of my favorite players. The guitar player from Winger, he was also a session player. He played on, I think he played on Chaka Khan records. He played on the Bee Gees records, from the 80s records I'm talking about, like not the popular ones, of course. But yeah, Red Beach, one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. One of the best tappers. He taps twice the note twice, which is really weird. Can I do it actually? And Red Beach, Winger. People hate Winger, but people hate Winger are pretty stupid. If you hate Winger, you're an idiot, because you don't like music if you hate Winger, in my opinion. They're the best band, one of the best. From technical ability stand, they're one of the best bands to come out of the genre of the decade, even. Songs like 17, yeah, the lyrics are cheesy, but the song is so well written, because when you listen to it, it will be stuck in your head, you will be singing it. It's a well written song, the solo is crazy good, it's like a perfect guitar solo. The rhythm, this song is so fucking hard to play. I swear, I've been trying to play it, I cannot learn the riff. I showed my guitar teacher the song, he couldn't play the riff. The song is hard to play, the rhythm is hard, because if you listen to the song, before the solo there are a couple of stops to the drums, it just messes up the timing a bit. Just monster musicians, monster songwriters, 17, Madeleine, like I said, Head for a Heartbreak, Hungry, from the next record, Easy Come, Easy Go, Baptized in Fire, Rainbow in the Rose, just Miles Away, the big ballad, just Can't Get Enough. Amazingly written songs, amazing performances. Winger are one of the best bands of the 80s and 90s. People hate on them because people are pretty dumb. They're pretty dumb. Now people will call me an idiot because I say that Winger are great, and the public likes to hate them on them. And yeah, but yeah, guitar players. And then I remember when I got into Van Halen, at first I didn't really enjoy Van Halen music, but I decided to listen to the first record, Van Halen 1, which I actually bought on CD. It was the very first CD that I bought, and I got hooked when I listened to the whole record. I wasn't impressed by Eruption, by the way. I don't know why. I just really wasn't that impressed with Eruption. Maybe because my ears were, I wouldn't say like trained, because but I had already heard some pretty crazy stuff that was inspired by Van Halen. So maybe that's why it didn't blow me away. But if you think about it, it was the 70s, and Eddie was doing all the two-handed stuff, like the. And of course that was generational type shit, you know. And yeah, but the songs were great. I immediately fell in love with Van Halen, and it's been a love story since then, bro. Like, I love Van Halen. I listened to the whole discography a couple of times. I like every album except Van Halen 3 and Balance. Oh, and the Different Kind of Truth. Balance is okay. There are a couple of good songs like Can't Stop Loving You, and Amsterdam was pretty cool. And I think Seven Seals was that a song? I don't know. Big Fat Money. That one I think it was good. I don't really remember it actually, but yeah. Anyways, Van Halen. I'll talk about Van Halen in another video, but yeah, Van Halen really like impressed me, and they became my favorite band of all time. Doesn't matter which iteration, whether it be David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar, Gary Sharon, Mish Malloy, whoever is on lead vocals. I love Van Halen. Yeah, Eddie became one of my favorite guitar players. And let me share with you my top 3 guitar players. Or even top 5, because that's top 3 is difficult. But at first place, my favorite is of course George Lynch. I always do what's called glazing with George Lynch. Like, I love all the Dokken stuff with him, including Dysfunctional. I think Dysfunctional is one of the best 90s records by 80s bands. Because, you know, as we know, 80s bands had a decline in the 90s. They had an identity crisis. Basically, they tried to make grunge and they couldn't. But Dokken had a great record with Dysfunctional, in my opinion. Some of the best Dokken songs are on there. Also the Lynch Mob stuff. I love Lynch Mob. The old Lynch Mob is great with Tony Logan, with Robert Mason. The newer stuff is also great. Still a couple of records with Tony Logan from 2014, I think, 2011, 2012, something like that. Sun Red Sun, and I forgot the other one. It's still with Tony Logan. Great stuff. George Lynch just plays his ass off. Yeah, like, you see what I'm doing? I'm glazing George Lynch, but I'm a huge fan. And I'm still mad that I cannot buy his guitar because it's out of stock everywhere. I want to buy the Bengal Tiger, but with the Sunburst, because I dislike the regular Bengal Tiger, which is yellow with black tiger stripes, and has a one humbucker, I think. The Sunburst Bengal one is the LTD version, because I don't have 10-15K for a ESP version, but you know, it's the yellow Bengal Tiger with Sunburst. It has purple and white and orange and the Bengal stripes. It's a beautiful guitar. Anyways, I'm getting out of topic here, but yeah. Then, okay, George Lynch is my number 1. Number 5, no, number 2, Eddie Van Halen, of course. My number 3, that's pretty difficult, but I'd say it's Alex Skolnick, because like I said, Testament really impacted me, and I love Testament. They're one of my favorite metal bands. Number 4 for me is Zakk Wylde. I'm a huge Zakk Wylde fan. I love the Zakk Wylde Ozzy Osbourne stuff with Zakk Wylde from No Rest for the Wicked and No More Tears, Osmosis. I mean, Zakk Wylde is great. I also love if you haven't listened to Zakk Wylde's first solo band, Pride and Glory. It's not a solo band; it's a side project. Pride and Glory. It features Zakk Wylde on lead guitar and vocals, on drums. I think it was I forgot the guy's name. Oh, I think he's a session guy. Actually, let me check out his name. I forgot his name, bro. I forgot his name. The bass player is James Romenzo from White Lion and Megadeth. But the drummer, bro, I forgot his name. Come on. It says Greg D'Angelo from White Lion. But I think on the recording it's actually Brian Tichy. Yeah, Brian Tichy. I think he plays with... No, he doesn't play with the Scorpions. What band does he play in? It says Foreigner, it says Billy Idol, it says a lot of stuff. I think he's just a touring musician and a session drummer. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, he plays with Gene Simmons' band. That's cool, that's interesting. Anyways, yeah, basically, Zakk Wylde, Pride and Glory, Black Label Society. I love Black Label Society, it's so badass. They're great at Black Label Society. I love Black Label Society. And also Zakk Wylde's soul stuff. What was it? Book of Hollows? I don't know. But Hell record, it's pretty cool. And I'm just yapping on about different stuff. And so my number 4 is Zakk Wylde. My number 3 was Alex Koenig. Number 2, Eddie Van Halen. Number 1, George Lynch. And number 5, Red Beach. Like I mentioned, Red Beach, one of the greatest in my opinion. And now let me get to Megadeth. I actually forgot to talk about Megadeth. Like I said in the beginning that thrash metal had shitty guitar solos. That's not the case for Testament, Overkill, Megadeth, and a couple of other bands. Death Angel had pretty cool solos. But yeah, guys, I'm just a hater. Okay, I just talk shit. Okay, I try to be a good person. If you meet me, I'm a good person, guys. I just express my opinions on music. I love being... I'm really critical in terms of music. I have my opinions and I stand by them. But Megadeth, they're one of the most technically proficient thrash metal bands, of course. Dave Mustaine is a great guitar player, great... I was going to say great singer, because in my opinion Dave has a really cool voice. Especially in Euthanasia, I love Dave Mustaine's singing voice in there. It's my favorite Megadeth record, and Megadeth are my second favorite band after Van Halen. So yeah, I loved all of Megadeth's guitar players. Everyone from Chris Poland, Jeff Young, Marty Friedman, of course, the legend. My favorite one is Al Pitrelli, actually. I really like Al Pitrelli and what he did on The World Needs a Hero. And he's just a great, I think he's a session player or a touring musician. I think he played with... did he play with YNT? Or I think the drummer, Jimmy DeGrasso, played with him. Anyways, Al Pitrelli is a great guitar player. He played with Savatage and with the... what was it called? The Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And then you have Chris Pound returns, Glenn Drover, or was it Glenn? Is Glenn the drummer? Yeah, Sean Drover was the drummer. Glenn is the guitar player. Glenn Drover had some really cool stuff on United Abominations. Chris Broderick, a machine. People hate Chris Broderick because he doesn't play with feel. He's a robot. I mean, that's his job, bro. I mean, come on. You hate him because he plays Tornado Souls perfectly. He literally plays Tornado Souls perfectly. Like the record. He just sits there, doesn't crack a smile, and just he plays the bitch perfectly. First time. First try. People hate him because he has no soul. Bro, Chris Broderick is a great player. Him and Jeff Loomis and the what was the band called? I forget. But they had a great band. Oh, I forgot the name of the band. Anyways, then Kiko Ureiro, of course, one of the best modern players. I mean, he's not a modern guitar player. He started in the 90s with Angra. I actually really like Angra. I was going to say one of my favorite power metal bands. I was going to kind of lie. They're great, but not one of my favorites. And now they have Timo Montessori. He's Finnish. Should I say it with a Finnish accent? Timo Montessori. Something along those lines. And I forget from which band he came in Megadeth, but yeah. Actually, it would have been cool if they had Brandon Ellis from Vag Dahlia Murder, but at the time which Kiku had his family trouble, when Timo was just a replacement member, I think at that time Brandon Ellis was on tour with Exodus, and he was filling in for, I don't think it was for Gary Holt. I think it was for I forgot the other guy's name. I also forgot. But yeah, Brown Ellis played with Exodus on tour, so it would not have been possible for him to play with Megadeth. But that would have been great because Brandon Ellis is a monster player as well, and he has a great cover of Tornado Souls. If you haven't checked it out, I think he has a lesson on it. And that's before he joined the Black Dahlia Murder. So yeah. Anyways, I'm getting a bit out of topic here, but yeah. So yeah, that was my video. Thank you for watching listening. I hope you have fun. We're jamming, chilling. Chilling, jamming, playing guitar, and talking guitar. So hope you liked this episode of Guitar Therapy. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can subscribe to my channel, you can like the video, you can check out the previous episodes or check out my other videos. Share your favorite guitar players in the list, and just know if I insulted your favorite guitar player, because I have a tendency to insult others not knowingly, so sorry about that. Let me know. I'm just hating sometimes. I don't actually mean it. So yeah. So don't attack me, please. I do not intend any harm. Okay. Good. Great. Anyways, that didn't sound really sincere, did it? I'm actually sincere. Anyways, I'll stop yapping. So thank you for watching. Actually, thank you very much. And see you next time. Have an awesome day, night, week, day, whatever. Play guitar, and thank you for hanging out. Goodbye.